Welsh football club Wrexham have rocketed to stardom since being bought by Hollywood actors Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds in February 2021. But with all the focus on Wrexham's new revenue streams, including a documentary tie-up with Disney, expectations are that they can simply spend their way up the leagues. And is this really true? How much money can Wrexham actually spend? Wrexham's latest available financials are for the 12 months ended June 30th, 2022, the first season under their new owners, which ended without promotion. Not included is the impact of the Welcome to Wrexham documentary, which was released in August 2022 and has provided a huge boost to the club's revenue potential, with insiders describing it as the club's most prestigious commercial asset. We'll know more when those accounts are released. What is included, though, is the impact of the purchase of the racecourse ground for £2 million. Meaning for the first time since August 2011, the club fully owns its own home ground. So here are the headlines. Wrexham achieved 404% growth in revenue, up to almost £6 million, which is a record in non-league football. Prior to the pandemic, League Two clubs, the division which Wrexham will compete in next season, were averaging just £4 million in revenue. But the club also made a loss of £2.9 million, much of which was down to a hike in player wages as they chased promotion aggressively. The owners loaned the club £3.67 million, primarily to fund the purchase of the racecourse ground, but also invested another £1.2 million in shares. The three major revenue streams were £2.65 million of matchday income, £1.3 million of retail income, and about £1.05 million of sponsorship and advertising income. Football costs, which include player and staff wages as well as travel expenses, were up by 294% on the previous season, and were the key driver of the loss that was recorded. Wrexham's directors chose not to include a detailed profit and loss statement in the released financials, so we have to make inferences on how much of this cost is wages. Episode 11 of Welcome to Wrexham features Sean Harvey, advisor to the board, telling McElhenney that the additions to the squad in the 2022 January transfer window would push the annual wage bill to around £2.3 million. This figure probably rose further later in the year as a couple of players negotiated new contracts, leaving a best estimate of around £2.5 million. The figure also reported by The Athletic. The club also spent £1.2 million on transfer fees and agent fees, up from just £10,000 the year before. Their record transfer fee was also unsurprisingly broken, as they signed Ollie Palmer from AFC Wimbledon for £300,000. And the club pays sizable interest on the £3.7 million loan taken from the owners. The annual interest rate is around 7.25%, about 3% higher than the Bank of England base rate, and translated to an interest charge of £43,679 for the year ended June 30th, 2022. The director's report does note, however, that there is no immediate pressure to repay these loans that funded the purchase of the racecourse ground and stadium improvements. At the highest level, Wrexham's financials for 2022 were not too different from other National League teams. Stockport County, who won the National League that season, posted a financial deficit of £4.8 million. While Notts County also posted a loss of £1.7 million. But the bigger question is, what do the financials look like now and beyond? Because the documentary has driven enormous growth in popularity, and of course the money that comes with popularity, especially through sponsorship and advertising TV revenues. What's also clear is that the wage bill would have gone up even further. The club signed many EFL players to win promotion, which wouldn't have been cheap. Sponsorship and advertising income are also likely to have grown and will continue to grow. Lucrative two-year deals signed with TikTok, Expedia, and Aviation American Gin back in the summer of 2021 will flow into this season, but new sponsors should expect to pay a higher premium given the significantly enhanced exposure. And promotion definitely helps too. Financially, all EFL League Two clubs receive £1.1 million as a central payment, covering their share of TV income and the annual Premier League solidarity payment. This is a seven-figure increase on what Wrexham received as members of the National League. Further, if matches are televised live, more TV payments could follow. Home matches are anywhere between £20,000 per match and £100,000 per match, and away matches at around £10,000. EFL streaming will provide another fillip, capitalising on Wrexham's growing digital audience. Data insights company Horizon estimate this growth would have brought in around £1 million in additional revenue. And finally, would League Two's 55% spending rule, which states a football club cannot spend more than 55% of income on the wage bill, impact Wrexham? Well, we don't think so. as the growth in revenue should comfortably allow Wrexham to maintain a £3 to £3.5 million wage bill, which is directionally where they might land. Given that there are already plenty of League Two players in the squad, the general consensus is massive changes won't be needed to secure promotion to League One. But the increase in revenue from every possible angle will certainly enable it if needed. Football finance lecturer Kieran Maguire summarised it well. Wrexham is surfing the wave at present, and the documentary is central to everything. Going forwards, though, the big question is whether Reynolds and McElhenney can attract other investors who will want to continue the progress after being seduced by the Disneyfication of Wrexham. That will be key.